happens to be red, sink the water. The surface tension decreases. Now a paperclip carefully placed on top rolls close, and instead it will sink to the bottom. Then we return to the box to talk about pulmonary surfactants, which is a complex of lipoprotein formed by cells called type 2 pneumocytes, which line the alveoli. The most notable constituent of surfactant is called DPPC, or more formally, dipolychloroyl phosphatidylcholine. This compound greatly reduces surface tension of the fluid coating the inside of the alveoli. Interestingly, unlike water, the surface tension of a mix of water and pulmonary surfactants is roughly proportional to the surface area over which it is spread. In other words, the power of surfactants to lower surface tension is most pronounced when the alveoli are smaller than when they are distended. Here are our two alveoli again. For the smaller one no longer has a relatively high internal pressure Hit some city mother.